Okay, great. I hope you guys can see me and hear me clearly. Yeah, awesome. Great. Good morning. Okay, so let's begin today's session. Just sit comfortably wherever you are. Keep the back and neck straight, and very gently close your eyes. Awesome. Very gently close the eyes and start observing your breath. Just observe the natural process of breathing. Don't change the breathing. Slowly shift your attention to the body, your posture. You should be properly aligned. So just take a few moments to adjust the posture. And slowly come back to the breathing. Begin to deepen your breath. Slow, long, and deep inhalations. Slow, long, and deep exhalations. Relax the mind and prepare the mind for Om chanting. We'll chant Om 3 times and then we'll chant the prayer. Inhale deeply for Om. 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 You guys can repeat after me. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve santu niraa. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kaschit dukha bhavet. मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। Let's inhale for Om together. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Just feel the vibrations. Join the palms together and rub the palms together. Keep them on your eyes. Very slowly, while blinking and looking at the palms, begin to open up your eyes. Start coming back with a smile. And namaste to everyone. Let us begin today's session. Right. So last class we talked so much about food, how you have to eat your food, right? And that is one portion of the lifestyle, right? Now, second topic for lifestyle, is your you know, we call it vihar or recreation. VIHARA, vihar. When people come in yoga, they think it's so serious. It's something like, you just have to leave everything else behind and, you know, you cannot exist in your life like you do, right? But yoga, promotes the concept of recreation, right? Recreation is anything that you really enjoy doing, right? Whenever you are like, you just cannot leave everything behind, right? You have to exist in the society, right? So if you get all serious all the time, right, you will not be able to enjoy life, right? And yoga doesn't believe in suppressing yourself, right? So recreation is, promoted when you come to the lifestyle part, because all of us, we get emotionally irritated, frustrated, mentally irritated, frustrated, right? All of us have those days, right? And it's always good to fall back on something which refreshes your mind, right? So that doesn't mean that you go for when you come to the yogic philosophy, it believes in the right mode of recreation, right? So you can go ahead, party, do a lot of things when you are in a low mood, right? But when you develop a habit in your day, right? Take out time in your day to do a specific thing which makes you feel good. That comes under the part of recreation when we talk of it as a yogic philosophy, right? Because we all are humans, we all will go through ups and downs, but some things we really enjoy, right? So like listening to music, or maybe for you it can be dancing, right? Or painting. Some people like to paint, right? So however they can channel their emotions basically, right? So that portion is called the recreation portion, right? And it is so essential for us to have something in our life which we really enjoy, right? We really look forward to doing that thing, yeah. And if you fix a time for it, then you look forward, right? When you have to go out, suppose if you have to go out and hang out with your friends, so you feel very excited that now this time is coming, right? And evening I'm going to go and hang out with my friend. So it creates that sense of excitement within you, right? That you have to go hang out with them. So it keeps the mind engaged, and it when you hang out you feel good, right? Even if So yeah, like I was saying, if you are having an emotionally low day, and you go and hang out with your friends, so you feel good, right? All of that stress is gone away just like that, right? It does change your environment and helps you to cope with your emotions, right? So in that same way, when you choose something that you really love and make it a part of your daily routine, right? So if you like listening to music, take out half an hour in your day. So minimum time you should give to recreation, half an hour you should give, right? Half an hour, if you are lucky, you can give 1 hour, right? If you have that kind of time, but try to make that kind of time for recreation, right? Because look forward to it, you feel excited that you're going to do it, and that thing, gives you a lot of mental and emotional release, right? You channel all of that energy, when the mind is chaotic, it utilizes so much energy, right? When you're emotionally going through something, so much energy is going over there. So rather than putting that energy in that line, you choose to direct it in some other thing. And some other thing being something you enjoy, right? Which relaxes the mind, which eases out those emotions. So in your life, you should always have one or two things and you should make time for them every day. If you love painting, go ahead and take out half an hour in your day where you go and paint, or you go to dance, right? Some people enjoy dancing a lot, right? If you like singing, you can go and sing, right? Take up any class, right? Related to singing, or if you like playing some instrument, take out half an hour in your day to do that, and you will see that overall the quality of your life has increased when you incorporate that activity. Like for now, like because you're joining the yoga classes, I will assume you like yoga somewhere, right? Somewhere or the other. So when you take out time to attend these classes, for this 1 month, you will see all the things that used to trouble you a lot, they start troubling you less, because now you're making it a part of your life, joining the classes every day, practicing every day. So you are like changing the way in which, earlier maybe these all thoughts and emotions would be channeled somewhere else, and now you're putting all of this energy over here, right? So you will see overall, this month, most probably this month, you will feel as if this month was good, right? When your classes will end, you will feel, okay, this month was good. Why? Because you took out the time to do something you really like, right? And it impacts your the situations around you, how you deal with the people around you, how you deal with the society wherever you have to exist, work, or study, right? So it highly influences that thing. And you will see most people, who you would think of that they are living the perfect life, right? They make time for things that they love. You will never have the time, you will always have to make the time to do those things. And it is good to keep 1 hour or half an hour in your day for yourself. Me time is so important, right? When you just spend time with yourself and enjoy your company rather than enjoying the company of the things or people around you, you have to learn to enjoy your own company also. So recreational activities, they help you to do these things, and it's a very practical manner to even deal with your emotions and negative thoughts, because not everybody likes delving into introspection and all the time questioning yourself and looking at how everything went, right? And trying to figure out exactly what could have been right or done better, right? So all the time introspection will make life too serious, right? So you need something to lighten up the mood, to keep yourself motivated, keep yourself excited, right? And whatever you choose, this recreational activity will do that for you, and it's good to make it a part of your life, right? So but go for right recreation. Even sleep, which helps you to relax the mind, right? That is also considered to be right relaxation, but done correctly, right? So it doesn't mean that you go and sleep in the afternoon and then you keep sleeping for hours and hours and you wake up at night, right? No. Sometimes we do need that relaxation and we can take that relaxation, but it should be just the apt amount of relaxation that we need, right? So this is where yoga says go for recreation, right? Next point that we have, which will immensely impact the way in which you live, right? Immensely, right? Is your achar or right conduct. ACHARA. Right, so this is also a very essential part of life, how you conduct yourself, how your behavior is, right? Not behavior, sorry, how you conduct yourself, right? So suppose you choose to conduct yourself in a particular manner, right? Which is not, like, I wouldn't say right or wrong, but in general, you know, basically main point is whatever you put out there, be ready to receive it back. Okay, because that is how the whole cycle functions. However we put ourselves out there, that is what we get in return, right? You would always see this thing that this is actually what character is, right? When you choose to conduct yourself in accordance with what you believe in, rather than what your circumstances are forcing you to do, right? So sometimes, your circumstances you will have those situations in your life, right, where you are, you know, because of peer pressure or all the people around you, you feel as if, you want to make a decision or act in a particular way, right? Which is not in sync with your own belief system, right? So if I believe, suppose, um, if I believe in speaking the truth, okay, and then some situation happens in my life where I am unable to speak the truth, or everything around me is forcing me that don't speak the truth. So at that point of time, my character will be defined by what, if I'm speaking the truth or not, right? And if I change it, if I don't stick to my value system, then again I'm constantly being influenced by everything around. So if my situation will change, I will also change, right? I will also lie when it's convenient and say the truth when it's when that is convenient, right? But this really reduces your own credibility, and not to others, to your own self. So sometimes, in, like I talked of speaking the truth, right? So we feel as if we lose our credibility towards the people around us. But no, you will see, if you are not able to make up your mind about something, you start questioning yourself. We start going in that negative thought pattern, right? So the correct way of conducting yourself will help you to stick to a particular thing when you know that circumstances around you are not supporting it, because most of our life, it's not going to be in our favor, right? Most of the times you're going to face something or the other, right? But it is our own stand and belief system that we build with the passing years, that if we choose to follow those things, then we rely on ourselves also a little bit more, right? So if even if you cut out the external environment, conducting yourself correctly, right, will help you, when the right conduction is talked of. Patanjali, he gave yamas and niyamas. So I'll just write this down. YAMAS. Okay, yamas and niyamas, YAMAS. So yamas are mostly connected to your external environment, right? And niyamas, NIYAMAS. So you can just write this down and I'll explain it. Right. So yamas and niyamas. These we will talk of in depth also. But like yamas, I wrote in bracket, that is society, right? So how you conduct yourself with regard to the society, the right way of conduction, right? This has been talked of in the Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, right? Which we will discuss again. We will have a separate class on that. So he talked of the correct way of interacting with the society, like he talked of non-violence, how we should be non-violent not only in our actions but also in our thoughts. Sometimes we cannot beat someone but we beat them in our head, right? So he has talked of these yamas in quite like uh, quite deeply. He has talked of the yamas, right, when he has mentioned them, right? And same way niyamas are personal, right? So if I like how I conduct myself personally, right? So one of them is like shauch or cleanliness, right? So maintaining the cleanliness of the body, right, of the mind. It is so essential in your own journey, right? Unless and until you do not take bath every day, right? You have to take bath every day, right, in order to keep yourself clean. Or you have to constantly introspect to keep your mind clean, right? So he has talked of these things. So your personal like uh, way of conduction and how you deal with the society, these are going to form pillars of how you lead your life, right? If like in niyamas, the way in which you conduct yourself personally, one thing is your contentment, right? So if I keep working on my contentment, or I train my mind to see that whatever I have, that is enough, right? So wouldn't the quality of my life immediately improve, right? Right now I'm constantly, because of society around me, I'm constantly thinking whatever I have is less. If you have a home, then you are just like, I don't have a car. If you have a car, then you feel you don't have the latest model of that car, right? And this list just goes on, right? But uh, it's so important to find contentment in whatever you have right now, right? And when you train the mind, so right now the training is done that whatever you don't have, that will give you happiness, right? But eventually you work on training the mind that whatever you do have, that is the best you can have, right? And it is uh, there with you at the right moment, and this is what you need right now, right? So trusting this thing that whatever you need, you have it right now. As soon as you do the training of the mind in this way, the quality of your life will immediately increase, right? You will start feeling happy even in small little things that happen. It could just be how tasty the food was, right, that was served to you, or maybe just having food on your table, right? So sense of gratitude really increases when you work on these things, and these will determine again how you live your life, right? It's not about what you have, right, but how you are perceiving it, right? So right now when I'm teaching, some people might get offended by it, some people might like it, some people might be neutral about it. I'm saying the same thing, but everybody will perceive it differently. So when you change your way of viewing something and you make that shift in a positive manner, it changes the way in which you completely exist, right? And conduct yourself and perceive everything that is happening around you. Now, rather than complaining, you will see opportunity in those things. You will find the good in that thing, even if something that you did not plan that happened, right, in your life. So you will try to see, okay, what do I have to learn out of this, or what experience did I gain, right? And it's always good to have this kind of way of thinking in life, because life keeps going on. So if even if you win one time, you might lose the other time, right? So what you have to look for is not the winning or the losing. You have to look for what you're learning and what experience you're getting out of it, right? And that leads to your own growth and development. So if you keep chasing the uh, you just want to win, or you just keep fearing the failure, then you will never be able to progress, right? You'll never be able to grow, or you won't be able to experience the moments in your life completely, absorb them completely, right? And yogi, uh, lives in the present, enjoys in the present, lives fully and completely. If yogi is asked to join to dance, yogi will dance so so happily with everybody who's there. They'll exist harmoniously with the society around them. So it helps you to make harmony within yourself, so that you can be more harmonious towards everything else, right? So yamas and niyamas, when these two things are talked of, they put you more in harmony with everything around you and within, right? And that is the right way of conducting yourself when there is uniformity and harmony, right? That is what in beginning also I told you, the meaning of yoga is this one. Now, when you're harmonious, right? When the sun is rising, we are waking up, means we are in harmony with the nature. That is when everything comes alive, right? And when night hits, you immediately, get that you have to go to sleep. This is you harmonizing yourself, right? It's nothing else. You're harmonizing yourself as the nature is, right? And you find yourself in a much better position, right? You feel much more healthy, you feel much more energized, because you sleep at night and you wake up in morning. If you someday you reverse your routine, you will know how miserable you are, right? Because when you sleep in the morning, right, that sleep is not sufficient, no matter how many hours you sleep. I have done that, right? And I did not feel very fresh, right? Even though it's good to sometimes, wake up at night, stay awake, right? But when you reverse your own system, you start seeing a lot of things, go up and down in your mind, your emotion, everything is impacted, right? So coming more in harmony is what we are doing when we talk of yoga as a lifestyle, right? Next thing is one of my favorite things, right? Uh, which I really love to talk about. That is your vichar or thoughts. VIC. Just a second. So your vichar or thoughts. Thoughts are so important. If you don't think of something, you cannot do it, right? Like if I'm sitting in front of a smartphone connecting with you guys, right? So someone thought of something like a smartphone, right? And then they work towards developing it, right? So it is the thought that had a lot of power, which eventually turned into some action, right? Action through the body or action through the speech. So when you guys get angry, right? You get angry first here, right? And then you maybe, if you are little bit angry, you might speak some unpleasant words, right? And if you're very angry, you might end up hitting someone also, right? So it's beginning over here in your mind, it is beginning, right? And thought has a lot of power, right? If I change the way in which I think of something or view something, everything you will see, like if you feel smartphones are good, okay, so again and again you're feeling, "Oh, my smartphone is very good, smartphone is very good," and you will see everything around you will align itself, to make you feel that your smartphone is very good, right? So your smartphone, you will be able to easily access music. You will start. So basically, whatever we believe in, the subconscious begins to support that. So then you will notice, your smartphone, the speed is very good, right? It's not hanging at all. Music is easily played. You are able to play a lot of games. The graphics are very good, right? So all of these things, your subconscious mind will begin to, support and provide you proof because you choose to believe that the smartphone is very good, right? And then on the other side, if you completely change your thought, right? And now I start saying smartphone is very bad, right? So very bad for my health, right? So then I will start feeling that way, and then I will start seeing this thing. So my battery discharges very quickly, right? Then I don't have the latest model. Then I will start thinking, this smartphone is not able to do this thing, or it's not able to do that thing. My eyes, they start hurting when I look at my smartphone. So smartphones are not good at all, right? So then I tune my mind to give support to that belief, right? That smartphones are not good, right? So you can try this with something you are neutral about. Okay, like I'm neutral about my smartphone, so I can think of it both ways. So if you're too emotionally attached to something, you won't be able to change your view towards it, right? So maybe your TV, okay, the TV you have in your house, or maybe a particular book that you have in your house. So start thinking of it as the best book. This is the best book, right? And then you'll start finding reasons why it is the best book, and then suddenly change, right? Suddenly change your thinking that this is the worst book, right? And you will see your mind will support that, because thoughts have a lot of power over us. Thoughts influence our energy. If I think negatively and somebody comes and sits with me, right? And they sometimes, it happens sometime, maybe somebody in your family is sad, or some friend of yours is sad, and you just go to them and you are just like, let me cheer them up, right? And when you go and try to cheer them up, you instead walk out sad, right? Because their mind is so much like has gone deeply into that negative thinking pattern that their energy is such, right? That you start feeling depressed, right? When you go in their company, you went to cheer them up, but you start feeling low, right? So thoughts, if you think positively, if you choose, okay, let me use this word choose because we always make a choice, okay? If you choose to think positively about something or someone, you will see everything will align itself to support that, right? And this is not something I am saying or I experimented with or you guys will experiment with. A lot of books are written on this same ideology only, right? Like the power of the subconscious mind, immediately this thing is addressed, right? If you can change your mind a little bit, if you can convince yourself to think about something differently, you will see everything changes, right? How you feel about it, how you perceive that thing, everything begins to change, right? And that is the kind of power your thoughts have. So you always should work towards keeping a positive mindset, right? You should always assume everything is going to work out. No matter what, where everything is going, just assume everything is going to work out, and you will see everything will work out, right? If you just, it sounds very stupid, right? Whatever I'm saying, it sounds very stupid, but once you start doing it, and implementing it in your life, right? Then if you just walk into a room and assume, you will get everything that you need. You will actually get everything that you need, right? To start, you can try this with, again, I said, you can try this with something you're not attached to. So that if, even if you don't, like at that point of time, maybe because of X or Y reason, the picture in your mind is not matching whatever you expected, right? So you don't feel shattered, right? The one or two times you can experiment this thing, and you will see actually it works, because your thoughts, they heavily influence everything around you. And then and this flexibility that I'm saying, when you change from one like if you perceive something negatively, it's so difficult to think of it positively, right? But this flexibility in the mind, not in the body. In body, you move, you do asana, you gain flexibility. This is the flexibility of the mind, and this can only be worked on when you attend your meditation classes, right? Because in meditation, you're working on the mind, right? You're working through the mind and on the mind. So both the things are happening. It becomes your instrument to perceive something, and then at the same time by default it is being worked on. So this is the flexibility you should aim to achieve, right? Not the body flexibility you are standing on your head or your hands, but if you can actually change the way in which you think about someone or something, you will actually see that change come in. And that change only comes in when you work on your own self. And that is deeply achieved when you do meditation, right? You work on yourself. So I'll give my own example only. At one point of time, I used to perceive things in a particular way, right? And at that time, I wasn't working on myself, right? But the day I started doing work on myself, I worked on bettering myself, right? Everything around me changed. I don't know what the magic trick was, right? But this, I don't know where exactly it began to change. But you know, my whole life completely changed because of this. And that is why I really, push all the students, do meditation, right? Because when you start working on yourself, right, everything around you begins to change. The problem is not outside. We like to believe problem is outside. We have to work on ourselves. Something inside is asking, looking for your attention, and some chaos is created outside. So if you start working on it, the quicker you start working on it, the more easily you will be able to make peace with something, come into more acceptance, right? And I really hated one or two people in my life, okay? And now I really love them because I realized I was hating them only because, I love them so much, right? And, hate is just the other end of love, right? You can only hate someone you really love, right? Because hating someone requires so much energy, right? It requires so much investment of energy. And it's because you love them so deeply and you don't like what they are doing that you begin to hate them, right? But you can come to a point where you love them, right? Not just make peace. I'm not asking you to aim for less. You can aim for more, right? Not just come to a neutral stand towards that thing. You can, turn that hatred into love, because hatred is the first layer of love. Okay, deep down there is love, but one of the layers of love is hatred. So you will see, you somewhat, the people you really, really love, you hate some things about them, right? Because it is one form of love only, right? Hatred is just the other side of love, right? And it really will help you to change your life when you start tuning your thoughts and the way in which you perceive everything around you, when you start working on, right? So the last point for lifestyle, today's our last class, right, on this lifestyle thing, right? And that is your uh, behavior. व्यवहार or behavior. BYAYAHARA. So right behavior. So right thoughts we have talked of, right? If you bring in the right thoughts, all the things that you dream of and beyond your dreams, everything is going to happen, right? And then last thing is your behavior, right? If behavior means how you're doing your day-to-day activities, right? And this we have already, like yamas and niyamas are a part of it. So conduct is more long term, right? Behavior is how I'm doing everything, right? Each and everything that I'm doing, how I'm doing it. So of course, yamas and niyamas come as a part of your behavior also. But Bhagavad Gita has talked more on this, right? So when I did the definition of karma yoga, definition of yoga also, I told you how the action should be done, right? Perfection in action. When you do the action perfectly, each and every task that you're doing it with proper dedication, right? And with a sense of detachment. You're not attached to that thing, whatever you are doing. You are detached so that mind can remain relaxed. Whenever you are detached, mind becomes more relaxed, right? So when and full dedication, full concentration should be there in whatever you are doing. So this portion comes under your behavior, where in conduct you are overall changing the way in which you are doing things. Conduct is more about building and developing the habits, right? So if I train myself to go in a particular habit, right, I will initially require some force, right, and then eventually it will become automatic, right? Like when you guys go to maybe your work or college or school, there is a particular time. So in first few days, you struggle to wake up and get ready, right? But eventually, as the time passes, automatically you wake up at that time, you get ready, and you reach the college or school or even your workplace on time, right? Because um, you have it's a habit pattern that you created, right? So conduct is more about changing your habits in order to support your life. Behavior is more about the little things that you, how you are doing them, how you are conducting yourself, right? How you are behaving, right? With each and everything when you are doing that thing, what is the kind of behavior, you know, the way in which you do it. So you will find some people, they do everything very slowly. They will pick something up, they will take their own time, and then they will keep it to the other side, right? And then you will find some people who will do it very quickly, like this, right? So this is more about behavior. Behavior forms, like long term behavior is conduct. Okay. So behavior is step by step. You are building something up, right? So when you change the way in which you are behaving, right? In the way in which you are doing the task, right? Eventually your conduct is bound to change. Okay. Eventually we'll see a change in your way of conduction. But it starts with little things that you change. Like yesterday we talked so much about food, right? How you have to eat food, what is the best way, what your state of mind should be. So now maybe you will eat like that one time, okay? Then eventually you will start incorporating it. Maybe once in a week you are eating that way, then it will come to 2 or 3 times in a week, right? And that way of eating, then it will become a more prominent part of your life, right? And this behavior, when you change how you are eating each and every meal, right, then your entire way of consuming your meal will change. Then you won't be able to go back to spoons, right, or go back to sitting on a chair, right? Because you have uh, infused that behavior, right? And then it becomes a conduct. Then it will be very hard for you to go back, hang out with your friends, right? Your friends will have junk food and you will be like, oh, or do I come and eat over here, right? Because step by step you work. You did not force yourself, you did not push yourself. You worked maybe one meal at a time or whatever, however much you wanted to work. And that changed the way in which you did other things also. So when you eat your food that way, not only your food is changing, your behavior is changing, right? So behavior is more about, So not only the way in which you eat your food, that's not the only thing that will change. Everything in your life will be impacted, then slowly when this habit begins to increase, right, the way in which you consume your food, you will see you are doing other things also more consciously, right? So behavior will, like it spreads, right? So like I put a drop of color in water, right? So initially you will feel as if you are just put a drop, but if you look at the water after a few seconds, it will absorb that color, right? So when you practice the little things daily, you will see everything that you do, that quality of doing that thing has completely changed, right? And this only comes when you work on the little things, how you're conducting yourself during little things. Because if you are generally a kind and caring person, right? So no matter what kind of situation you are put in, your caring nature will come out, because you cannot separate, right? I cannot separate. Suppose if I have a particular characteristic, so I cannot separate it from when I'm teaching or when I am interacting with someone or with my family, right? Because that is who I am as a person, right? So you won't be able to segregate after a while. Whatever you do, one thing you start doing, and it will, that quality will, then cover everything that you do in your life. It will change who you are as a person, right? And transform you rather than change, I would say, level up, right? It will give you a level up if you choose to go about it in the right way. And it can also take you in level down, right? So people who begin to, like yesterday also I was talking, smoke or drink or eat junk food, it only goes up, right? That consumption only goes up. So it just degrades their life more, right? So you can make that choice how you want to go into your own recreation, right? Because everybody is dealing with emotions, everybody is dealing with chaotic thoughts, right? But how they are dealing, just changes their life. That is why I will see so many people, who were struggling in their childhood, they are so famous today, right? Because they chose, right, how they wanted to view their struggle, right? And they are one of the most successful people these days, right? And if you read about a lot of entrepreneurs, people who are doing very good in their life, you will see they had some struggle or the other in their childhood, right? Because we all do, right? But we all have different ways of coping up with those things. So they made a choice, right? They wanted to cope up in a certain manner, which took them to that stage in their life where today they are viewed as successful, successful people, right? Or we really respect them. It's because of the choice they made. Circumstances everybody will have, everybody is struggling. But yogic way, when we are talking of it, it changes how you are dealing with something. It doesn't, it will not remove the suffering. It will simply change the way in which you are dealing with that thing, right? So, any doubts in today's topic? Anything you did not understand? No? Awesome. Great. So, let's end today's session then. Yeah, tomorrow we will begin with a new topic. Yeah. So, for today, what you guys can do is just, at the end of the day, just, I would say, jot down how you are thinking, what you thought during the day, and it will give you a glimpse into how you generally think. Sometimes you think we are not negative people, then you begin to write down your thoughts, you read them, and you just say, oh, I'm thinking so negatively, right? So today at the end of your day, just jot down anything you feel like, however your day has been, or a particular incident, and just see how your mind is functioning towards that, what you are thinking at that point of time. So jot down your thoughts. You can maybe pick up an incident. So suppose during a day something chaotic has happened, so pick up that incident and then reflect back, and write down how you thought in that chaotic situation. Did you think negatively? Did you think critically? Did you think positively? How were you thinking? It will give you a glimpse into what your overall functioning of the mind is, which will again help you to change it if it's not in your favor right now, right? Okay, so today's activity is this. Yeah. So let's end the class. Sit up straight. Keep the back and neck straight and gently close your eyes. We will be chanting Om one time, followed by 3 Shantis. Inhale deeply for Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Join your palms together, just bow down. Take a few moments in the day to feel grateful for everything you have. Rub the palms together. Place them on the eyes. Very slowly while blinking and looking at the palms, begin to open up your eyes. Start with a smile. And namaste to everyone. I will see you all in the afternoon for your pranayam class. So bye bye, take care. I will see you soon.